Welcome to the Branford Camera Club monthly meeting. Tonight's program is Pet Portraits by Mike Shea. Mike's presentation will explain how he does pet portraits. He will explain his setup, both lighting and camera, and how some techniques he utilizes to get the pet to cooperate with the process. Mike Shea is a professional photographer who has a studio located in Gainesville, Florida. He specializes in weddings, family portraits, headshots, pet photography, and much more. Now here's Mike with his program.
Okay, Ellen.
And I want to introduce the speaker tonight. This is Mike Shea out of Gainesville. He's a photographer, been a photographer for, is it 43 years?
43.
43
July
years.
22nd at 5:30.
Yep, and he does portraits, weddings, pet photography.
I do some weddings. I'm down, at my age, I've gotten to the point where I'm not going to chase a bride 6 hours with 60 pounds of gear. So
Yep.
I do some hour-and-a-half things, and they come in the studio a week later, they pick out what they want. Once they leave $500 or $800, then they give me more money.
Yep.
I like that. I'm mainly a print photographer, but recently headshot business has been about the major part. I've been about 90% of that. So.
And so tonight he's going to show us a little bit of pet photography. Grace has graciously brought her cat, Charlie.
And Charlie's standing in for a corgi. So just, legs are about the same length.
Pretty close. You ready for him?
Okay, so we're going to start with it.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't know what you want to do, Mr. Mike. It's up to you. You tell me.
I'll do anything I can get away with.
Okay. Come on, Charlie. Hee.
You don't have to be crazy to be a professional photographer, but it sure helps. Hey, anybody know how to take and be a millionaire as a photographer? No. I was wondering, I could use, no.
A lot of Eddie. John said it's impossible.
No, the trick is you start out as a billionaire.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know it's good she brought a pet, because otherwise she was going to be my corgi. People don't know I'm crazy.
Welcome to the club. We do crazy. We do nothing but crazy here, right? Okay. So, you want to...
If you got enough blankie, then let's spread some blankie out there, or I'll bring this further.
I don't have that. So, I got this right here. That's it.
That's what's hot.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. You know, if you get them right there good, they'll actually pat their foot like a dog. It's funny.
Alright. Yeah, I can move them wherever.
I never experienced that.
You ever watch Charlie the Lonesome Cougar? Disney made a movie.
Hmm?
You ever watch Charlie the Lonesome Cougar? Disney made a movie out of it. That's him. Friendliest cat. Right. It's like, sure.
We're going to try a couple things and then roughly.
Okay. First one.
And if my computer works right, I've got a small video presentation, and if the computer works, then I'm going to put a card in it, and if you're interested, I'll show you what we've done here. If you've got any questions, I will tell you the Photoshop and the Lightroom are old. I had to cut them back because of the video card is not. I wouldn't want to spend a ton of money on a video card.
Alright.
Give me a second. Okay. Oh, yeah, it's going to be a good night.
I know, that's a weird noise, storm.
Time to figure out if I'll be able to get back up. Yeah. Okay. That's not bad for over there. There's not enough separation in light for the automatic focus.
Oh, okay. What do you need us to do? Anything?
Now you need to behave. And I'm not talking about the cat. That's the problem I have with children, is their parents. With children, I can't put them in the other room. The parent, that is.
Come here. Yep. Okay.
But do you find cats more challenging than dogs, or dogs more challenging than cats, or about the same?
Depends on who the owner is. If I can't throw them in the other room. I had the girlfriend we were working with a set of dogs that just got back from the river.
If you want, I got the tennis ball over
Just-
here.
You would?
There's a tennis ball over there, we can see if that would distract you.
No. Come here, sweetheart. Come. Yeah, mama making you take and work tonight for your kibbles. You gonna make you work for your kibbles? No, if I don't have help except for the girlfriend, I can get a dog in about 15 minutes. You gonna make me work? Yeah. Yeah, you oh yeah.
He likes that.
Yes.
If you hold them to your shoulder, you purr.
I guess people
like
wonder
crazy.
what I do to their animals that don't like people.
Oh, come here.
And that's kind of, but that's one thing about digital, is it thinks about whether it wants to work or not,
Okay.
and then trying to figure out where that little square is for autofocus.
Yeah, that's your own hair. There you go.
Okay, there's there.
Just get
Oh, that's a
the
good
other
one.
way.
I like that. Oh, whoosh.
You want me to trust him?
No, just.
I'm asking.
I understand what you were saying now.
Sorry. I didn't wear my splits, I'm just trying to find out what you need.
This is a good show.
I'll shut it.
When an owner refuses to listen to me, and it's a heavy dog, they get 2 times that I'll pick that rascal up and put it back on the table. After that, it's yours. There you go. I can't go blow his back out. Look into my eyes. Look here. I'm gonna slap you in the head. It just, I don't know. It, Mr. Pussycat. Ah, you be that way. Girlfriend always wonders why I run out of batteries. There's 3 batteries and they last about a week.
Yeah.
And she can't find something, it's like, so what you think? Huh?
What are you trying to do with kibble?
Is it-
This is the first time I've done anything with them, so my sister takes them to the office.
Yeah, it's great.
Kid, you didn't. Mhm.
He is. He's not got shy bone in his body
What do you think?
unless it's something new.
What you think?
Giving you all
that animals don't have a sense of humor, and it just, it's like, what do you think?
Where is he finding all the kibbles he's eating?
I just gave him the one, I think he just broke it up. I
Oh.
think that's all he did.
Hey, like that.
So you think I can't come around again?
Okay. Mommy, you're gonna stand up.
Okay.
Right there. Well, while she's doing that, I'm gonna lay down. Oh, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Right there, his mother goes.
Hi there. There he is. You can focus anytime it wants. Nikon's one of those wonderful cameras that helps you even though you don't want to. So when your nose gets in the right place, it doesn't work.
Look at him, he's like,
You're not getting my good side, Miss Pussycat. You look cute, but I know I'm not helping you all much with what I'm talking about.
Sorry.
The calf will help you. What we're doing? Anyway, you've got a mellow kitty. I like mellow kitty.
Yeah. He's my sister's cat, so this is my first time with anything. That's why I'm asking you, Mr. Mick, but you need to do, so. But yeah, he's pretty chill.
There's, I can hear somebody snoring.
That's the cat.
Well, anyway,
look at him now.
if the girlfriend's with me, roughly what we would do is this would go away, and Marty would be down here, and then she'd reach up from down here. Yes, from down here. Yes, down there. That's where she'd be.
Look,
What do you think? Yes. Now, if it's a dog, then
no, look.
then roughly you just hook onto the collar from the back, and pretty much we can take her out with digital. So you know where your bacon's at. Don't fall off. But I'll have people come in and I attack the animal first thing. I walk through the door. And if it's a dog, I scratch it into submission where its legs go out from under onto the floor. And if it wants to roll on the floor, we roll around the floor. You know, Coyote's got mine. I guess you could be a house cat. You'd probably notice it. Won't fit in my camera bag. But anyway, I've been doing this for 43 years. I started out with interiors, exteriors, and models. And then for quite a few years, I did mostly that. I did interiors, exteriors, for a lot of stuff with home builders and things of that nature. And then I guess I got into the wedding business for 8 or 10 years, and then money wasn't there. A lot of work, nobody was willing to pay for it, so I eased into pure glamour, boudoir, and I was one of the top 4 glamour photographers until glamour shops came in with dime store photography, and really what they did was makeup, hair, and outfits was pretty much what they did, and they just have to have a camera to work. So I didn't do it. And what's glamorous? So I moved into weddings. I became one of the top 4 wedding photographers in the area, and pretty much we lived off our referrals, and we were the 4 of us had no problems with working with different hotels and things. They knew that the 4 of us were going to come in, treat the clients right, do the best we could to give them something absolutely, positively wonderful, and we generally knew the vendors. So a lot of times, me personally, I wanted to know more than anybody else there that day, and so I would 2 weeks before, when people had supposed to have figured out what they're going to do the day of the wedding or want to do, then we choreographed it. And I prefer doing weddings where we did a quiet time wedding, where we did weddings where we did all the photography before all of the in that situation, people go, oh, you just want to get the thing out of the way. Well, there's several things that happen. One is that 15 minutes before my clock starts, we would take the bride, put her in some place, fluff her out, get her absolutely set, and then we'd open the door, push the groom in, pull the door shut. Nobody got near them for 15 minutes. And a lot of times both of them cried, and both of them talked about how scared they were. I'm sorry, I'll get him out of your wedding.
Right.
That's like going to a restaurant and there's this, or a movie, there's this giant guy sits down in front of you. Had that happen with 2 women at the ballet. I love it. Out somewhere.
Take the leash off now.
I don't forgot where. You know where I was? No. Okay. So, anyway, did photography, did weddings, and the thing is, the first level happens where their stress goes down, comes way down. So instead of being 250 over 110 as far as blood pressure, then they relax. And then we took and did 30 minutes of romantics with just the bride and groom, and then it became a free-for-all. We brought people in, and I did a thing called flow posing, and that's it was a dance really, and you put people in and took them out. If you were doing everybody before, you had all your people. You got the bride and groom and 25 family members. Okay, groom steps out. You got a bride and 25 family members. You didn't have to move hardly anybody. Same thing with the groom. And then you move part of those people out, and then you had the groom's folks with the bride's folks. Now you got that one taken care of. So it's you could move through. I guess I averaged about 250, 300 images in 45 minutes to an hour. Then you go to the reception, or you get set up for when they come down the aisle, and you do that, and then you move to existing light. And I can tell you folks, these things make life a whole lot different. I had 12 frames to shoot with 800 ASC film, ISO, whatever, and that was what I shot during a service because of, let's go this route. Okay, this is digital, and which means it's the same as if any of y'all shoot chrome before with slides and things, this is the same animal, okay? You're setting your light for your highlights, okay? If you blow your highlights out, on a slide, there's nothing there but a piece of clear film.
Right.
So a piece of software isn't going to put that back on digital. With film, you always set for your shadow and then adjust it. And if you had to go crazy, then you took that roll of film out and you mark it. And that's the only thing that was on it was, because if you adjust a certain thing and you're going to have a lab pull process it. So, but then again, we're talking about antiques. I did that through 2002. Should have retired then while I was behind. It's got to the point where I'm still locked into film. I don't shoot film, but I'm locked there. And most of my model stuff that I photographed was slide, so it was chrome. So that was a easier move in this. And a lot of things are your depth of light, how far a flash will go. And I don't know if you know that every time you double the length, you lose a stop. So if you got somebody that's right there, and you photograph them, and you take them two back, it's going to take them to lose a stop. However, when you photograph that person back there, the amount from here to there is lit behind it. Does that make any sense?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all don't use lighting.
Yep.
You drag shutter with flash. Well, I done put in people to sleep. You too, huh? It's so anyway, what do you want me to talk? What do you want to know? What questions do you have that because I know the level of what y'all do. Y'all may be better than I am.
We got a
Somebody help me
Yes,
here.
yes.
We got a wide range. But let's talk about the pet photography. When did you start getting into doing pets?
Well, I've been doing pets forever.
Okay, so that's always part of it.
It's
Indoors, how about that?
I started out with a gorgeous blonde with blonde hair to about here and a parrot. And you make noises and he look at you like, what? And they chew her hair and stuff. But I had a job. I had somebody wanted me to photograph their cobra on film. No glass interrupter. And we talked about it a little bit, and the guy had his antivenom with him. It was like, I'm gonna let a snake bite me. Hell, I'm crazy, but I ain't stupid. So I said, okay, I can get you a portrait of your snake. It's gonna be a pretty picture. It's gonna cost you $2,500. This is where we're gonna start. Well, that's outrageous. And I thought it was too when you brought up the snake. But he was serious. It was he had some serious endangered species. But we're talking. Oh, by the way, it was a spitting cobra.
Oh.
And at $2,500, I was going to be from about here to that feller right there, and I was going to use a long lens. So that's kind of where that is. I photographed a few horses. Most of the horses I've done have been with high school seniors, and it was their pet. Some mornings they showed up real early, which surprised them. We did pictures of them and their horse, and then they went somewhere and got dirty doing barrel racing. It was smarter to do it before than afterwards.
Right. Yeah.
How big of dogs have you photographed? How big have the sum of the dogs been that you photographed before? I know you said you had some.
I don't have an ear in.
Sorry, how big were the dogs that you have photographed before inside? That you had to get up on a table?
Oh, you would do that. Well, he fell off a couple of times, and he kind of freaked out on us. But we had a year and a half old Great Dane, and he hit, and he's kind of. We got some some cute pictures and all that. I think the portrait they bought was him half off of it, with his legs hanging on the front, looking like, Mommy, help me. So, you know, if somebody's coming in and they're wanting just, let's say we're doing a family, and they want serious photographs of everybody looking at the camera, I can do this, day in, day out. But if you, and I pose those people with, back with weddings, flow posing. People who like each other next to each other, people who don't like each other away. And with the flow posing, you can put them outlaws back out there. Well, actually, the in-laws are the ones that generally go out, the outlaws are in the middle. But you do the same thing with families, and then of course, horizontal composition, there's tic-tac-toe. So there's there, and where those 4 points are is where the subconscious mind goes. And you read from left to right, which means the ones on the left are smarter, bigger than this, or more important than this, and here, and then here. So if you got some little wonderful person that's doing Oda Le Pew, then that Oda Le Pew is sitting in one of those 4 spots. And I'm kind of confused with a lot of stuff I shoot, because if I'm doing it for just digital, then it's one thing. I don't worry about it. If I'm doing it for prints, then then people go, well, we need that crop, you know. And it's like, I will make you an 8x10, right? Yeah. Let me show you an 8x10 crop, and you've already lost 2 inches. That is an 8x12 or a 6x9 print, in which most labs don't do that. So if you're shooting 35mm, then you've got that kind of situation. So you have my subconscious is like, and then at a wedding, Granny's gonna want that 5x7 of the full-length bride and the dress all the way over there, and if you don't do it right, then it looks like you stapled the bride over there with that dress, and she's hanging off the edge. So I was taught the choreography was portrait, closer, closest, and the one in the middle was for Granny. Well, I want this one over here. Well, this is the same image, but it is photographed for 4 or 5/7, and I miss my square format. It makes such a beautiful page and a beautiful image. Yeah. Okay. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was, but I'm
The
glad.
Great Dane. It was the Great Dane.
Okay, Great Dane. And I've actually been at 2 births. And I used to be the only photographer in Gainesville that would photograph a funeral. Back with when film, to make sure people were out. A lot of commercial stuff, products, a lot of injury stuff. Worked for, back in those days, the photographers, the attorneys, I had 2 or 3 of them that actually were willing to pay for a professional photographer. And you priced a contingent that if you had to go to court, then they had a day rate that they needed to pay you. Right. But in those cases, you pretty much went to the lab and you watched the lab people when the film came out. You know, you watched them make a set of prints when they came out, so that when you went back, you could say, I didn't let the evidence out of my, it was never out of my control.
Right.
So, next, what else?
Anybody?
Yeah, when you're talking about doing the wedding, you're talking about flow, what exactly?
Flow posing.
What are you talking about that?
Flow posing is, it's a choreography. You put a bride, you start out with a bride, and then you add a groom, then you add people, and roughly, the bride's the one that's gonna be a hassle, because of, if she moves, you gotta go down, you gotta fluff the dress, you gotta get the wrinkles and all out. Now, if you don't move her, but you move people in
That's what
and
you're
out,
talking about.
you move people in and out,
Right.
That's the
and she
flow.
doesn't move, that dress is still Perfect.
That's what you're talking about, the flow. She's standing still, don't never move, and everybody flows in around her, right?
You got people come in and hug on her and kiss on her and cry. Some of the things when you talk, I learned a long time ago that when you're talking to a mama, an emotional mother and a girl, and you mention something about, just remember when you first diapered her, oh, my baby's gone. I mean, so there was those things that you didn't do. It's kind of like at a funeral, that you don't play Another One Bites the Dust. I mean,
You were saying, you were talking about when you shoot there, you said drag flash,
drag shutter.
drag shutter.
Shutter.
So explain that.
Okay. It's, in a lot of cases, it's, okay, you're going to pretty much need to use a flash. Okay, we're gonna play with flash. Otherwise, it's just a timed exposure, in which everybody does. Drag shutter, what happens is, when we were doing, well, I'm going to do weddings, because that's, the bride and the groom and all them people, when we're working, some of them are 30 feet down there. And we're back here throwing light. So before you do that, you go in, you take your meter and you read how dim it is in the background. Okay? And then you set your ISO for that. Then you go back and you set your flash for the same. And that could be, I've had to go all the way up to a half second. And you don't handhold any of that. You have a really good tripod. So the flash goes off and the exposure's still going. So when you look at the image, it's three-dimensional. Okay, instead of it's black right behind the bride or behind anybody. If you're doing stuff outside, I don't do it. I use almost every flash on everything. It covers my eye. Sun goes away, fine. I got flash. It's going to give me an exposure that works. Is that?
Yeah. Yep.
Now,
Now, at your place, when you photograph the animals and stuff, do you have like a studio, or lights, or what type of equipment do you use there at your studio?
Okay, I would have been babysitting the girl who's just had surgery, and the commode would have blown up on me this afternoon, and I had to change that, and then the software didn't want to cooperate, and then I couldn't find adapters that I might need to hook into this. Things changed. Otherwise, I was going to bring a small pack, which was a studio light power pack, and with 2 hits, one for the background. So the kitty's close enough that my shutter exposure will do that.
Okay.
So when you are setting lights to photograph a pet, are you using a setup similar to what you would with a headshot for people? So you got like a rim light and all that stuff.
A lot of those people aren't real enthused about that. They especially if they got teenagers. Get them in, get them as close together as you can, and a lot of the teenagers, they're fun. The siblings, they love each other, but they fight. So you get them back to back, and then kind of glare back at each other, and then when they quit glaring, then they look that way, and you get a great picture. I do what I call conversational portraiture, and I'll hurt somebody that they break out that smile word, because of most of y'all are old enough. Remember them old computers where you put search in it and you watch all words go down forever? You can see all the words on the page? Okay, well, when somebody's told smile, that brain goes back to that old 8088 with a 30-minute hard drive. And all those muscles are scrolling in the face. The micro fraction of a second that you say something cute, the brain automatically knows what that is. So I'll set up a headshot. we're just back and forth, and if I can't get them to relax, then Facebook to the rescue. I had a guy that was a doctor, and he wanted to look, masculine, feminine. He's a bodybuilder, and I couldn't get him to relax. It was all just look. And finally, I looked at him and I said, "You get Facebook?" "Yeah." I said, Pee Wee Herman's got his clown car per se. It's got a little nose that when you blow the horn, and the nose flashes, and he lost it. I sold him 4 extra files for that. He'd never looked that good before in his life. And a lot of times if you're working with attorneys and you try and adjust their chin, or they lock up on you. They just, and then you get people overthinking what you're trying to do. Then you get the smart ones. Can I get you to lower your chin? Okay, I'm the comedian over here, So, I had an attorney I photographed, and he was just locking up on me, and what I did was, I just kind of wandered. I wandered back and forth behind the camera, and I'm over here, and then kind of over here a little bit, a little more, and kind of down a little bit, and kind of made him mad because he never bought a picture of himself in his life. He bought 6 of them because the wife and the kids would never believe that he had actually bought one unless he got one. So he told people, says, we were somewhere, I deliver them out at a network function at probably Chamber, and he's like, "This guy's crazy. He just, he's kind of laughing, he's kind of talks. He didn't tell you what to do or anything else. He just kind of wanders around, and you see flash go off." I said, "Well, what do you think?" So I've never seen pictures like that of myself. I bought some for the first time. And I said, "Okay, I'm going to step in here, otherwise it looks like I don't know what I'm doing." I said, "And I really did have you controlled." So what are you talking about? I said, "Well, I needed your chin to go that way, right?" And he goes, "Yeah." "Remember I stand on that side of the camera talking to you?" "Yeah." "Remember you kind of looked over that way?" "I got you to turn your head that way." "I went that way, you turned your head that way. I stood up taller, you raised your chin. I squatted down, you lowered your chin." He didn't he didn't overthink all that. He was just watching.
Be a natural.
So why don't I do this? Why don't I take and I'll throw this card in.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry,
When
excuse
you
me.
just said that, it reminded me of something that I saw a guy was telling about getting people to mirror him. Instead of telling people what to do, sometimes he would do it and say, "Stick your foot out like this," or "Do this," and it was easier for them to mirror him than it was to do it themselves. It looked more
Woman
natural.
pose. I'd done a groom, and I kept watching him. And he left, and she, I'm sorry, I'll get back over here. Problem. And I said, "You can tell him I really am straight. I've just posed thousands of women, and I can hit a woman's pose as quick." Now, and which is, if they want to complicate it, okay, camera's there. You turn the feet that way. Well, actually, come on, I haven't posed anybody like that in a while. Okay, you got that there. And then you rotate. And weight's on the back foot.
That's right.
So this is just you got that there, and then you bring the foot in. Baby on the hip. And now women, they face away from the flash, where it goes across all the nice little curves and stuff. They'll face to the left, but they're photographed with their body to the right. Men straight into the light. But anyway, I'm gonna focus one. I don't want to be happy.
You just
Oh,
said cute.
never mind. I know what's wrong. I know what's wrong with focus. Well, sorry, kid. It's a slow. Come on. well, at least I got one. No. A lot of what I'm gonna hear is that it just didn't want to autofocus. Anyway, here's, okay, new folder. So where are we at? We're supposed to have, I need, I will take this so it doesn't. I am looking at it. Okay. View. I guess this thing doesn't have. Okay, I am so used to it popping up. Wait a minute. Yeah. I'm so used to what happens. What happens is I go through and I make up a collection folder. The thing is set for auto advance. You hit B, and then you go to the next one. And then as you're kind of going through, the client looks at it and goes, you know, I tell them absolutely yes or definitely maybe. So when they get them back, hit down, I'm down to B. Well, I wanted to see the other one. It's fine, it's already there. So normal headshot, I'll end up with 12 images that the people like. And then we go down and then I play eye doctor. Do you like this one better or this one? And you move back and forth. And I'll sell them all they want. They get one that comes with $170. Spot is spray, retouched, and everything else. And they'll watch me do that. And most of the time I have to cut back. It's like, no, that's too far. The software has carried it too far. Something I've always learned is that I'm gonna mess up a lot of times, no matter what you do. If you're using PC, Control J. If you're using Mac, what is it? Option Command. And you work on that top layer, and there's a Back to the Future method in a lot of ways where you photograph something and then you soften it maybe too much. Who cares? Then you just pull the opacity back, and the one underneath it, you just you buff it out. Roughly, you're making a composite of the two. But you haven't added any extra things. You've just done your retouching on one layer, and that way, once you're happy with it, and you flatten it. But anyway, we'll go through here. See, okay. And some of them too fast because these files are anywhere from, well, some of them hang out around 30 something megs, so they kind of, yeah. And this is, like I say, this is not what you call a world-renowned, hey, there's one.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Now really, this is a pretty image. If I took this into Photoshop, let's see if it'll let me do that. Okay. Control E. Talk to me. You didn't like that. Oh. It's working on it. I missed my 34 megs of RAM.
Right. Yep. Just trying to, this progress bar is moving.
We'll be here all night. Yes, it will. It's not very big, mine. Now. Yes. See, there's one, and then you just retouch this out. Lighten the background a little bit. Actually, you take, you go in Photoshop, images, adjustment, and then you do, levels, and then you pull it from the right over a little bit, and you come in and you crop this, the table goes away, and if that doesn't work, then you, one of the newest toys, that's closed. Here you go, back to back here. I'm out running the downloaded computer. Anyway, there's Charlie. What I'll do is I'll take these things and I'll put them together on a some kind of a sheet and I'll send them to her. Isn't that the first I'm supposed to send it to you? Okay, see if I can get away with this other. Come on, today's a good day.
I hope you enjoyed the presentation. To learn more about the Branford Camera Club, please come to one of our meetings.